Good evening. We saw in the last parasha a very interesting story between Avraham and his nephew Lot. We all know that the Mashiach, when the time comes, he comes from Lot, from the descendants of Lot. But we all know that Lot wasn't exactly the most righteous person in the Torah, no? He started okay, and then later he went to Sodom, he moved to Manhattan, forgot about Hashem. It happens to some religious people, thank you. It happens. Nobody in a history can come and claim that he moved from a kosher place to a non-kosher place and staying the same. Nobody ever can claim it. It never happened before, and it will never happen. If any one of you think that when a person moves from a kosher, not so kosher, but a little bit kosher store, synagogue, mikveh, lots of religious people, feeling the holiday in the air, it's already making you move to the right direction. Moving to all these neighborhoods, thinking, look at me, I love Hashem, I love the Torah, everything will be the same. I don't need community to be the same. Baloney. I never found, and you will never find in a history, not even one case like this, that a person was in level 80 and he moved to Las Vegas and stay 80. Cannot be. Some people, it's slower. The way they think, it's not as fast as others. Some people within a week, you see right away, they're on the way out. 1 week. Over there, they begin to cut. You know, in Hebrew, there's a word that I hate very much. It's called masorti. You ask people, are you religious? In Hebrew, you say, ata dati? You say, no, masorti. What's masorti? Not milk, not meat. Parv. Half enough. You know, half enough. So one Rav, alav shalom, once I heard him making a joke about his name. He said, there's another translation to what masorti means. How do you say a sword in Hebrew? Masor. So they have a special masor, a special sword. It's called masorti. It looks like the shape of the T. You hold the handle, and when you have the sword, so it becomes masorti. Masorti. Every day cuts another mitzvah. Until nothing is left. There's nothing to cut. I heard another joke. Some people, you know, this is sad jokes. We smile, but it's sad jokes. There are people that are religious, but only one day a year. What day, guess? Yom Kippur. Yafeh meod. Yom Kippur, they remember Hashem exists. There are people who are religious 2 days a year. Rosh Hashanah, you said, that will make it 3. No? Use your head. That's almost every Jew, almost everyone, even far away from religion. Oh, very good. In the yortzeit of his father or his mother, he remembered the synagogue and Hashem. Puts yarmulke, get dressed nice, come. He's generous usually that day, gives a lot of tzedakah. He comes, he holds the siddur upside down, but still trying to say Kaddish. I saw how the son of the Prime Minister, Yitzhak Rabin, was trying to say Kaddish on him. I almost cried. Cannot read one word in Hebrew, a professor in university. So we have a hint in the Tfilat Shmona Esrei about this kind of people, that they're religious 1 day a year. What do we say in the Tfilah? Matir asurim, right? Umkayem emunato leishene afar. Anybody here understand Hebrew? One. Baruch Hashem. So you can back me up on this, in case I go, you know. What does it say? Matir asurim. How do you write matir asurim? Mem, taf, yud, right? Resh, that's matir. Asurim is Aleph, Samech, Vav, Resh, Yud, Mem. Asurim. There are two words that are very similar here. Matir has two meanings. Matir means to take out a prisoner. Matir Asurim, taking out the prisoner. Asurim means people that are locked in prison. So we praise Hashem that is Matir Asurim. Oh, a miracle happened, and this Jew came out of jail, and everyone is happy. Wow. I know a Jew, one Jew from Brooklyn, that was in a very serious fraud case. The government was looking to put him behind bars for 20 years. Young guy, not even 30 years old, not married, nothing, from a very wealthy family, from a very wealthy community, but wasn't religious at the time of that. What happened? When the attack on September 11 arrived, one of the planes knocked down the FBI building in downtown Manhattan, and all his file went on fire. After years of investigation, everything the FBI took pictures and recorded and everything, they put a case against him together, everything got burned out. No backup, no nothing. The backup also in a different floor also burned. Everything. They dismissed the case. So we're not going to be able to start all over again another 5 years investigation. They let him go. At least he was smart. He became religious. He appreciated the miracle Hashem made him. Became Shomer Shabbat. And recently I heard that he even got married. Some people, they have miracles. We all have miracles. But this is a big one. So what does it mean? Matir Asurim. There's another translation, if you look at that in a different way. Matir Asurim also count like Matir Isurim. What's the difference between Asurim and Isurim? Asurim means prisoners. Isurim means restrictions. Restriction. The Torah says you should not kill, you should not steal, you should not, you should not, you should not. Right? So, some people, because they're only religious one day in a year, so all year they are like what? Matir Isurim. They allow themselves to do all the restriction. Matir Isurim. When they become Baalei Emunah, when their Emunah return to them one day a year, when in a Yortzeit. What's the rest of the Pasuk? We say it every day 3 times in the Tefillah. Umkayem Emunato Lishine Afar. When he comes to visit the one who is in the ground, his father, his mother, his brother, whatever he is, Mekayem Emunato. Today he keeps his Emunah, his faith. Mekayem Emunah. That's a joke, in case you didn't realize. Very sad joke. But that's like some people are. 1 day or 2 days a year, they remember Hashem. How did we get to this? Okay, huh? Lot, from Lot we got to the prison in Manhattan and the FBI. It's going to be a mess here. So anyway, so Lot is not exactly the most righteous person in history. But he has the zchut that Mashiach comes from him. And everybody asks why. And right away everybody thinks, oh, you know why? Find me another person in a history that is willing to sacrifice his life or his daughter's life for few guests that came to his house 5 minutes ago. If 5 minutes ago somebody knocked on your door, excuse me, sir, hi, can you give us maybe some donation for our synagogue, for yeshiva, to help us? Help us, maybe something cold to drink, it's very hot. So he said, oh, sure, come in, no problem, here, I feel like home, bring them some watermelon, drink. No, very good, you give him a check. No, fine. Now, you found out hundreds of people standing around your beautiful house and start banging on your door. Let them out, we want to kill them. Let them out, we want to do other things to them. Horrible. So Lot said, no, 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 it's my guests, don't touch them. You want, you can take me. Take me, take you. We didn't come for you, we come for them. He said, no, 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 take me. No. Okay, take my daughters. No, we want them. Later they found out they were not even people. This is angels, and they blinded them, and the rest of the story we all know. So the question is, why that's not the biggest mitzvah he made in his life? How many people like this you ever found that they know the guest 5 minutes and they're willing to kill themselves for the guest? This was very big. It's very big tzaddik. No? Chazal teaching us, for this mitzvah, he hardly got anything from Hashem. Very small reward. Almost nothing. Why? Because he grew up in the house of Avraham Avinu. When you grow up in the house of your uncle, he raised you, and all day you see is taking care of the guests. What else you expect to learn? What else? You're going to be a stingy guy? All day you see your father, your mother feeding strangers. You have no other way to think. Psychologically, you don't know anything else. I mean, this is the way you raised. This is your nature. Some people, they try to be bad. They can't. Some people will try to lie. They won't be able to. Right away, they become red. You try to teach them 20 years to become liars, it just won't come. Some people, it's their nature. They don't have a problem with this specific thing. Being raised in such atmosphere doesn't give you so much points. But when he went with Avraham Avinu and he stood in front of Paro and Avraham, even though later he became a lot richer, he's going to be much more wealthier, but still now he's still a millionaire compared to those days. He has a lot of sheep and camels and servants. He's a wealthy person, and there's no banks, there's no Swiss accounts, no wiring, no stock market yet, none of these things. So whatever your wealth is, it's on you. If it's gold, it's gold. If it's animals, it's animals. This is what you're worth. They can see right away how much you're worth. Unless if you bury it somewhere in the middle of the night, no, fine. But this is what you have, this is what you're worth. So he knows if his uncle is going to die, how exactly he's going to inherit him. He's the only person who can inherit his uncle. Abraham doesn't have kids yet. Even though when Hashem told him, Lech Lecha, in Gematria is 100. For your own good. You don't know yet where. Why? Because I want to give you a higher reward for trusting me and going to unknown destination. But Lech Lecha in Gematria is 100, which means when you be 100, you will have a kid. He will inherit you, not your nephew. That's the secret inside the words. Lech, Lamed is 30, Chaf it's 20, Lecha it's the same thing, 50, 50 and 50, 100. And that's what happened later. When Lot was standing in front of Paro, and Avraham said to Paro that Sarah is his sister, not his wife. All he had to do is say, I'm sorry, my uncle, you just made a mistake. No, he won't say you lied. You made a mistake. She's your wife, not your sister. And Paro will go crazy. You're lying to the king of the world, the most important person in the world. That's at least what he thought. Let's kill him right away. And Sarah will go to them, and Lot will be a billionaire. And end of story. One word. Don't have to fight. You don't have to travel another 5, 10, 20 years. Who knows how long he's going to live. Remember, people live long life those days. 150, 180. Could be long life. So there's no guarantee Lot is going to inherit anything in the next few years. Now you have an opportunity. And he kept his mouth closed. He didn't say a word. And though he was dying to say the truth. I mean, not for the truth, for his own benefits. But after all, he overcome his desire, and that was a big test for him. For that mitzvah that he did in his life, Mashiach comes from him. No, you believe such a thing? What's the concept here? That it's not the mitzvah that you did. It's how difficult it was for you. For that Hashem pays. You understand? Not like this world. This world is the world of lies. Alma de Shikra. The Gemara says, the world of illusions. The world of lies. Everything connects with lies somehow. Either it's 100% pure lie, or it's 50% a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a show-off. It's all a lie. People pretending. It's like a stage, and everyone is an actor in his own way. And it's very simple. Very simple, because what's going on here is that when a person goes to the upper world, right away he sees everything in a positive, everything is, you see the truth. Not over here, you don't really know what's going on here. It's all a show. But over there is 100%. So over here, a person can work like a slave. 15 hours a day, they pay him $100 in the end of the day. Killed himself. Broken back, tired, dust, sweat, can hardly climb the stairs when he come home. They throw him one little bill, $100, like a slave. A person sits with his huge belly, with his cigar, drinking whiskey a little bit, making 2 phone calls, $3 million. See, it's a world of lies. A black guy from Harlem, all he knows is how to murder and beat up people. He comes 10 seconds, he beat up like a crazy machine gun. He kills up somebody, he beats him up, $30 million. Why? He's a very strong guy. A boxer, no? What's his name? The one who bites the tongues and the ears, whatever he bites. All these crazy people out there. So what do you see? One person standing in the middle of the intersection begging for 50 cents for coffee and then go buy drugs after a week that he collects quarters. They call it coffee today. And the other person, one person called me up, he said, well, for 30 years I'm using drugs. Which drugs? The worst drugs you can think of, the worst. Very expensive, hundreds of dollars a day. And he said, God was good to me. He gave me all this wealth that I can use the best stuff. That's why I'm not dead yet. He lost $10–20 million already on his addiction, the fool, and it messed up his brain. God was good to me. It's like a murderer say, God was good to me. He gave me enough money that I was able to buy a gun and be a murderer. What God gives you, it's not an indication that it's a gift. It's a tool that you are being tested with. Everything you have. You have a car. Now you're going to decide what to do with that. To drive to a shiur, to drive to the disco. Same tool. You destroy your soul or you revive your soul. The same thing. Just it's an instrument. It's something to elevate you or to bury you. What's going to be, it's your choice. It's your decision 100%. We all are genius when it comes to judge other people. What a speech we can give when we see our friends make a mistake or a sin or steal or do something or and who knows? Oh, you heard what happened? This guy did that, he faked that, they kicked him out, don't ask. Oh, he built such a beautiful story and he's shaking. Usually you see it more by the kids because the kids don't know how to fake feelings. It's very hard for them. You know, so they show their excitement when the brother got punished, how the other brother comes glowing. Like all of a sudden he's a righteous girl. You know, he's trying to help him. After he did everything to do that he will go to his room, maybe he feel bad a little bit, so now he comes. The kids, you know, you see what you get. But I tell you something, an amazing story. There's a yeshiva in Eretz Israel. There's a Rabbi there. This is things that happen every hour all over the Jewish world. Probably in other worlds also. This is very common in every school and every yeshiva that you go to. One kid, his name is Yankale. Yaakov. He goes to yeshiva and he's a very hyper boy. And he drives his Rabbi crazy. Rabbi goes nuts from this boy. See it, you know, he moves. After, maybe a month that the year started, the Rabbi called up his father and said, we have to meet. I have problems with your son, he's disturbing me, he disturbed the class. Can I go on like this? So the father comes upset to school. One of the worst phone calls to get. Especially when you ask your son, how are you today? The best. The best. The best. Just like this. The best. I had a great day. You had a great day. Really good. No problem. You stay out of problem. Yeah, of course. Up. Until you get the phone call. Finally you go. So he said to him, listen, the only way I will keep your son in my class, in the school, is if he take the pills which call Ritalin. You know what's that? Ritalin. Ritalin in English. In Hebrew they say Ritalin. Ritalin. Very good. So you know, so we're speaking about the same medicine. That medicine makes hyper people calm. Yeah, focus, concentrate. Nobody tell you maybe what damage it makes you in 10, 20 years later. Who knows what other symptoms it may cause. It's hard to know. Every medicine, every antibiotic or every medicine that we use having an immediate effect on the body. You can see. You have an infection is gone. So you're happy, oh, it's working. You don't know. First of all, one thing for sure, everybody admit, even the doctors, that it ruins the immune system. And the next time when your system will be attacked by germs, then the body won't be able to resist so well like before. So, you know, it fights against the problem, but it also kills the good germs, the one who's supposed to fight against the bad one. So what's the solution? You be a Talmid Chacham, you know a lot of Torah, Gemara, Rambam, and you know what to take. Instead of taking antibiotic, you take few of the roots of some of the plants and the things, you put it in a tea, you drink, a day or two later, all the infection is gone. It makes the body strong, it gets rid of all the infections, etc., etc., etc. I don't have time to go into details, but this is it. The Torah have the answers to everything. You don't need all these chemicals. So anyway, so the father said, but listen, Rabbi, in Israel medicine is very expensive, and you know, if you have to buy it privately, if it's protected by the government health insurance, no, for free. But if it's imported from Europe or from America and you have to pay, it's a lot of money. And most people in Israel are broke. Yeah, you see 15-20% of the people are wealthy. Most of the people, they barely surviving, borrowing from here, trying there, working another job. So the father said to the Rabbi, have mercy on me. I don't have money for this kind of medicine. It's expensive. So he told him, I'm really, really sorry. It's ruining my class. Go collect money, donations, and get him the medicine. That's the only way he can come to the class. So the father say, okay, I have no choice, I see. But let me ask you a question, he said. Me and my wife leaves very early in the morning. We both work. How exactly I'm going to give him the medicine? By the time we leave, he only get up later and then comes to school. So the Rabbi said, oh, don't worry about this. You give it to me, and I'll make sure that he gets every morning the pill. So the father said, hey, I don't want my son to be famous here that he's taking these pills. So he said, no, don't worry. I'm going to put it in my locker room next to the coffee machine, and every morning no one would suspect. I'm going to tell him, Yankele, your job is to make me coffee every morning. Right when we finish davening, I send him right away to make me coffee. We have like 5 minutes until we sit in a class. And I will make sure that he takes the pill. So the father said, okay, if that's the case, no problem. Next day he brings him the medicine. And all day he's sitting nervous in his work for the phone call to see he will get a phone call or not. 24 hours, no phone call. Yankele, how was it? Psh, great. Next day, great. 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months, no phone call. Maybe he lost my number. Then he said, you know, living in a doubt like this, it makes me nervous. Let me go to the school, find him, and ask him what to do. So I come to the Rabbi. He said, Rabbi, how is Yankele? I say, sugar. The class became a paradise. You see, I told you. Not one problem. Not one incident. The whole class is great now. Not only him. Baruch Hashem, thank you for your advice. But he knows his son, it's too much for medicine. So I cannot be, you know. So he comes to him, he says, Yankale, how's class? He said, 2 months, not one problem. I told him, not only the whole class, he said, yeah. And the Rabbi, it's an angel. He doesn't yell, he doesn't scream. I didn't hear him screaming for 2 months, one time my name. So the father said, what, you're really so responsible that every day you take the medicine? He said, what do you mean take the medicine? Every day he sent me to make him coffee. I put the pill inside the coffee, and I give it to him. The father said, oh my gosh, you're putting the pill in the Rabbi's coffee? By the time he goes from the locker room to the class, it melts inside. The Rabbi is drinking his coffee. So apparently the problem was the Rabbi, not the kid. You're all laughing, but you have no idea how true this story is. Even the Rabbi is not always see that this is a test for him, that he has to handle how to handle this boy. It's not always easy to give love to a stranger. No. He's a Jew. No, so what? I have to hug him, to talk to him, to have patience for him, to explain to him, to take him to eat ice cream in the after hours. It's a full-time job to be a Rabbi, like a doctor. Doctor is going home, I don't know, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. As soon as he gets home, he can get a call. He has to return right back to the hospital or whatever happened, right? It's emergencies. Rabbi is even more emergencies. Why? You can have something, you have to check homework. You're always busy with what you do. It's not like you come in the morning, you finish at 4, and you go home and that's it. Sometimes the hard work begins after. Speaking about doctors, in Israel there was an emergency on Shabbat, an emergency, and needed to call. It was a real emergency. One of the boys had a very high fever. What happened in Shabbat? You have to call an ambulance to come. So they come with a doctor. Or they have a doctor that is on shift, is on a call. So the doctor comes on Shabbat, and he's not a religious doctor. It's Chiloni, not a religious doctor. So he comes to the house of religious people on Shabbat. They are very poor family. Very poor. You see the apartment, how it looks. And the doctor took care of the thing. He gave him the medicine. He said, do this and this and that. Please, 500 shekel for the visit. 500 shekel. So the father is standing, looking at the doctor, and the doctor looking at the father. I think, well, 500 shekel, how am I going to give him Shabbat now? But if I was a religious doctor, he understands to come at night. So he say, aren't you going to write me a check? So now he's thinking, it's Chilul Hashem, what's going to happen? He's going to say the religious people are taking advantage on us, this. Thinking what to do. So he knew there's halacha that if you do it b'shinui, not in a normal way, you do it with your mouth or with your elbow or anything like this, then it brings it down. The sin is not as bad as you do it in a normal way. You understand? So if a person, for instance, he turned the light on with his leg, it could be that it's in a different way than normal. Everyone does it with his hand, or people light a match with their hand, and now he did it with his mouth, or anything like this. So that's bringing it to a lower level of sin. So he's thinking, what am I going to do? I'm going to go write him a check with my mouth, or with his left hand, or whatever the case. Like this, I'm not mechalel Shabbat deoraita, only the Rabbanan, and Chilul Hashem is deoraita. At least when I come to Hashem, I have what to say. What am I going to do? I can't take this embarrassment. So he goes to his room, poor guy. He's writing 1,000 shekel. In Hebrew, how do you write 500 shekel? 500 shekel. 3 words. 500 shekel. So he wrote 1,000 shekel. Double of the amount. 500, it's half of 1,000. He hands the check to the Chiloni doctor, He brings it with his mouth, he puts it on a table. The doctor said, I came to a zoo here. Good thing he didn't eat it. So he said, the doctor looks at the check, he makes sure, 1,000 shekel. But the doctor got surprised. He said, I said 500 shekel, not 1,000 shekel. He said, I'll tell you the truth. When I went to write you the check, I thought to myself, if I'm going to write 500 shekel, it's 3 words. That's more Chilul Shabbat. It's not a pikuach nefesh now to write you a check. So I decided, I don't care, I lose another 500 shekel, that I will write 1 word less on Shabbat. Why? Every 2 letters is a sin. Every 2 letters. Because 2 letters and up, it has a meaning. 1 letter is still no meaning, but 2 letters, it can be a name already. Shem, Cham, right? Noach. So it's already, it's meanings, it has a meaning. 2 letters. Yad, it's 2 letters. There's a lot of words, hundreds, thousands of words that you can write with 2 letters. So guess what happened? So he said to the doctor, like this, I wrote 1,000 shekel. For me, it's less Chilul Shabbat, and I knew you're waiting for your money. I was embarrassed to tell you to come tonight. What can I do? The doctor say, okay. He takes the check, puts it in his pocket, and left. Motzei Shabbat is over. He shows up. The doctor came back again to the house. Comes in with a check, $500, change. He was so impressed from that Jew. Up to that moment, he looked down to the religious people. They are here and I'm here. But he was so curious, so he started a conversation with him. It didn't take that long that the doctor realized that in maybe 10 years of learning, he will get to the level of this guy, how much Torah he knows and how much knowledge he knows. The doctor started to change his opinion. Later, they started to become friends until this doctor became Shomer Shabbat. What made the doctor Shomer Shabbat? That even when a Jew is making a sin, he's thinking, how can I make it a little bit less? Even in the details he's thinking. That's called Irat Shamayim. Irat Shamayim means Hashem is always above me. In the shuls, everybody puts beautiful signs on the wall. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. Here, you see, right behind me. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. Do you know one person in New York State that can say that he's acting according to what we write? You know what it means, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid? Is that there is not 1 minute in your life that you don't see Hashem in front of you. Not 1 minute. Nothing occupied you besides the presence of Hashem. Is watching me, is everything, and this is called Shiviti Hashem. Obviously somebody like this doesn't make sense. So now we're going back to the first story I told you. So after the kid was putting the Ritalin inside the coffee of his Rabbi, and it turns that the problem was the Rabbi, not the boy. Now the Rabbi came to the father and apologized, asking for mechila and also for the boy. And he said, I admit, I was the problem, not you. Obviously, look, everything is working with me taking that pill. That means if I would fight against my desires, I wouldn't need medication. Okay. So now we ask the Rav, who has to pay for the medicine? It's a very complicated halacha question. What's the doubt? The doubt is, who used it in the end? Who really needed it? The Rabbi. And he gave him the medicine, and he was using it. That's the opinion that the Rabbi has to pay. The other opinions say, no, the father of the boy has to pay. Why? When they presented him a problem with his boy, and they told him it's going to cost you X amount of money, 80 shekel, 200 shekel, whatever it was, to remove the problem from your boy. and then you saw that 2 months later there was no more problems with your, actually a day after there was no more problem with the boy. If they ask you then later, retroactive, and they give you a guarantee that by paying this 80 shekel or 100 shekel, the problems with your boys are over for good, of course you would be happy, no? So here when you gave the money, you got what you wanted. What do you think in the end, who has to pay for it?
The father.
The Rabbi can say, I didn't ask for it. You fed me with something I don't know, you want me now to pay for it? I want to ask you a question. What happened if somebody did a favor to you that you didn't ask for, and now he wants money for it? I'll tell you 2 stories that happened. One person walked in the street with his wife and children, Reuven and his family, and his friend Shimon opened a new restaurant somewhere. He saw him, oh, how are you, Shimon? Hugging, kissing, no? Come, 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 come eat. Taste from the delicious food from my chef. I have a great chef. I brought him from the mountain of the darkness over there, all the way here he came. He eat cats for breakfast and mice for dinners. Come, eat from him. If you know what I mean. For dessert, he take a bunch of 200 worms alive like this, moving, put them in a stomach. That's what they eat, all these people here in the restaurant. What do you think? Go to their house, see what they eat. So, he said, come, come, taste from the delicious food. So he comes in. What do you want? 5 steaks. No problem. 5 beers. On the way. This, that, dessert, fruit, watermelons. No. In the end, hundreds of dollars, this table. Up. Just when this Shimon said, wow, my friend Reuven, I never knew him. All my years, I know him. I never knew he's so generous. Just like this, he get me from the street. Come, come, eat. Up. The bill arrive. How we see the waiter come. I hope you enjoy, sir. His eyes came out. What is this, a joke? He's looking for the candy camera. His friend comes out. Reuven, no, didn't I tell you I have the best chef? I said, Reuven, what is this, a joke? You told me, come eat. He didn't tell me I'm going to have to pay for it. So don't you understand his business? You come to my house, you eat for free, but the business you have to pay. That's the first story. Who has to pay now? The one who say come here or the one wait? Second story is one person invited a carpenter to make him mahogany shelves in his room. He told him, my apartment is on the 3rd floor. In Israel, there's a very strange habit that people, since they're not home, they work all day. So they put the key in the electric closet. Usually in buildings, every floor, there is a closet. This is a mutual for 2 or 4 apartments in a floor. You open the closet, you have all the switches. In case there's a short, it's a safety switch. Here in America, I think it's inside the houses. But over there, it's over there in the hallway. So usually people, and also the timer, you know, that measure how much electric you use, the meter. So they put the key on top of it, hoping nobody will check. So he tells the carpenter, I left you the key on the meter, my apartment is on the 3rd floor on the right side. Go, as soon as you come in, you see the room in front of you, there's a flat wall, I took all the picture, cover it completely with the shelves that we spoke. He was already in the store, he showed him, no problem. So he comes, the carpenter see that there is, the 3rd floor, it's a doubt now. Why? You have a floor on the ground level, another one and another one. So he's thinking, did he count the ground level or no? He doesn't know. Like sometimes people tell you at the 4th light, make a right. You're not sure if they include the light where you are right now or not. I always confuse you. So he's thinking, which 3rd floor? So he's going to say, hey, what a fool I am. Let me go see whichever floor will have the key. That's the one, no? So he go up to the 3rd floor, he find the key, he opens it up, he comes in, He start to work all day, cutting, painting, everything, beautiful. All of a sudden, a person comes into the house. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing here? True story. What are you doing in my apartment? What is this? So what do you mean? Who are you? This guy told me to make shelves here. He said, this guy lives upstairs, not here. He said, oh, he told me 3rd floor. He said, this is the 2nd floor. Ran quickly to the upper floor. You see, also there is a key there. He didn't know. In Israel, almost everyone does it. It's going crazy. All of a sudden, the other neighbor shows up. So now he said, what do you do? So he wants the money. So it's your fault. You told me 3rd floor. That's the 3rd floor. I did the job. You have to pay me. So what? You didn't do anything for me. Now he comes to the old man. He said, hey, so you have to pay me. He said, what? I told you to put shelves? Take it out. What? Not to take it out, you have to break it, because it's all already, it's a very hard job. Who has to pay? No, what do you think?
He has to take the loss.
The person on the 2nd floor.
No, he has to take the loss. The guy on 3rd floor. You take the loss. You take the loss. The guy on 3rd floor.
The second floor pays for the 3rd floor.
50-50. You take the loss. Nobody pays. The guy on the 3rd floor wasn't.
So let me give you a hint. The one on the top floor, the one who ordered the job and never got it, he doesn't have to pay anything. He did not get anything in the end. So בדיני שמיים, he cannot sue him. המוציא מחברו עליו הראיה. When you go to court, you have to supply a solid proof. You don't have a proof. It's your word against his word. You cannot get out of him anything. However, the other one, you did a job for him, and the proof is right there. But he comes and say, take it out. I didn't say it. So the judge asked him, but after all, look what the job they did for you. So what's the answer?
He never asked for it.
The officer wasn't careful.
Yeah, he
Find out
Just
exactly.
pay for the material.
It's the guy who lives on the 3rd floor.
Chazak. Second V today. He has to pay only for the cost of the material, not for the labor. Why? After all, he benefits from it. He's keeping it. Cannot keep it and say, oh, I'm not interested in it.
What if he doesn't want to keep it?
If he doesn't want it, he has to insist to remove it. Even though it's a much harder job, so they remove it. But if he keeps it, he has to pay only for the cost, what came out of the pocket of the guy. Now what about the restaurant?
The guy that ate it.
Huh?
The guy that ate it. The guy that invited him didn't say, come eat for free.
Goes to the food.
He just said, come eat.
Now take away one V.
No, the guy that invited him didn't say, come eat for free. He said, come eat. He didn't say for free.
He didn't say it's on me.
He didn't say the word for free. He said, come eat. You have to be careful. If a person gave you a service,
On the house.
if he didn't say it's for free, and this is his business, you cannot assume that he's doing you a favor. If somebody invites you to his house and give you an apple to eat, and then when you want to leave, you say, hey, you have to give me $2. This apple cost me $2 here. It's Manhattan here. Each apple is $5. Give me $5. Then you don't have to give him. But let me ask you another question. What happens if he gives you on your plate, he gives you 3 apples, you ate one and you want to take 2 on the road. Let's say you have a 2-hour ride and you want to take it with you. So you put it in the pocket of this coat and this pocket and you go. You're assuming he already gave it to me, it's mine. No? So now I can do whatever I want with that. It's not so simple. He gave it to you to entertain you as his host. Not to take it on the way. It's a very problematic question. What do you think? He's allowed to take it or not?
No.
If you put on his plate, he's allowed to take it. Unless he pays for those 2 apples.
It is in the house or in the restaurant?
No.
In a restaurant, if you're paid, you're allowed to take. It's yours. That's no question. I ask you another question. Reuven made a party, and he put 20 bottles of Coca-Cola on the tables. And that week, Coca-Cola ran a prize-winning thing, a contest, whatever. So in the leads, on the cover, they put inside a grand winner. One in the whole country. One of the participants in the party opened up the thing. He knew about it. Oh, $100,000. This story happened, I think, 15 years ago in Israel, in Bnei Brak. Bnei Brak, there's a factory of Coca-Cola. The Israeli Coca-Cola, some say, is even tastier than the American. I don't know why. And he won. He wasn't smart enough, so he said, yeah! The owner of the apartment came from the kitchen, almost getting a heart attack. Yeah, what? $100,000. Hey, give it to me, it's mine. So what do you mean it's yours? I got it. He said, yeah, but you're in my house. This Coca-Cola belongs to me. The bottles are mine. When you finish, what do you do with the bottle? You leave it here, no? He said, no, my friend. You serve it to the guest. The guest can do whatever they want with that. What? If I throw it to the garbage, you would know anything? Who has to win?
Owner.
Yes. 5% is 5%.
The owner bought it. So
Where did you go? She don't split it.
20 bottles.
25, 75.
the owner will check it anyways.
25.
That reminds me now of another true story that happened. It's a long time since I told you a story. I tell you. Two friends won. I mean, they put together a lottery, and they submitted it. And like let's say 2-3 days later, they announced the winning prize. One of them was holding the card, and they decided, since each one of them gave $1 or whatever it was, that if they win, they split 50-50. So so they won. Actually, they put 2 forms. They submitted 2 forms. And they say, it doesn't matter which form will win, mine or yours. Whatever win, we'll split 50-50. Whether it's going to be mine, whether it's going to be yours, because we did it together in the same time, in the same store. So, one of the forms is the winning prize. So Reuven calls Shimon, and he says, Shimon, how lucky I am that I have such a lucky friend like you. Everything you touch become gold. We are millionaires. $12 million. Tomorrow morning I'm going to collect the prize. Come take your 6. So right away that guy, Shimon, screamed, what? My form won and you won 6? What 6? So that's what we agree, no? He said, well, you really think I was serious? Which guy will give you half for that? That's my luck. It's not yours. He said to him, come on, don't do this to me. What? I was crying from happiness. Now you want to take the whole thing for yourself? He said, no, I'll give you 100,000. Don't worry. I'll give you 100,000. You move out of your little tiny apartment. I'm not that greedy. He said, only 100,000? So you're really annoying me. You know what? Even 100,000 I'm not giving you. So Reuven say, I'm begging you, don't do it to me. I don't care, he says.
Who's holding the ticket?
No, but in Israel, you write your name on a ticket. It's not like here. You write your name and your address.
Who's holding the ticket?
The one who's calling, Reuven. But he can damage it. He can damage it. I think they keep a copy there. They have a copy, a record. Because at least in the old days, I remember when I was a kid, it used to be like this. They give you one copy, and the owner of the place, he puts in a box the copy. Later they came with a computer, that the computer automatically printed, but I'm talking the old days that people used to see it. Yeah, and they make X's on numbers, You have like 36 numbers, and you have to make X's, which 6 numbers are the winning. So after begging him maybe 20 minutes on the phone, Reuven told him, you just lost $6 million. He said, no, I just told you I'm not losing $6 million. He said, no, you don't understand. You lost the whole 12. He won't see a penny. He said, what do you mean? He said, my form is the winner, not yours. But my wife told me, do you think he would give you the money if it would be the other way around? I told her, of course. He's my friend since childhood. We grew up together. So she told me, okay, in that case you see that I'm right, not you. Chokhmat nashim banta beta. Sometimes a good advice. So he said, good thing I listened to her. You won't see a penny from it. What do you think is the halacha now? He has to give him half or no?
Shalom bite. Whatever the wife says.
Two guys went to yeshiva and grew up together. For 18 years, everyone tell one of them, leave him alone, he's not your style, he's not your type, he's not your level. What a great guy like you doing with him. It's not respect for you to walk around with a guy like this. You're a learner, you're learning, you're serious, you're a tzaddik. Why do you need this guy with you all the time everywhere you go? No, he's a good friend, he's reliable, all my life, everything I needed, I went to him. So what if he's not look like me or learn like me? He has other skills. So for many years he was very faithful to him. When they finished Metivta, one of them decided he's continuing to learn as long as he can. So he went to Yeshiva Gdola, he's already older than 18, and the other one went into business, looking for opportunities, and became a stockbroker. This story, it's 1986. 25 years ago. So, he went to be a stockbroker. Now, the guy is learning in yeshiva, he met a woman, he got married, he has already few kids, you know, and the other one also got married, but he's very modern, you know, he was always not the most religious guy, but now when he went to business, you know, with the atmosphere around him, no. So he's barely religious. After a few months, he got very lucky. Business was booming. The stock market goes every day higher and higher and higher and higher. For about 10 months, 10, 11 months, every day makes tons of money. One day, they meet on the street. Oh, brother, Yosef, Yitzchak, kissing, hugging, tears. So what are you doing these days? What am I doing? I'm learning as usual. What am I doing? And what are you doing? You see, top of the line, nice car. He says, don't ask. Hashem had pushed me into the best firm in Wall Street, in the Israeli stock market. I make tons of money. Whatever we buy, it's all. That's how it was. All the fools were making money, and the smart people were losing money. Why? Because everything was against logic until the crash came. That's what happened before that crash of 1987. Someone that was in the market, an expert, he explained to me, he said, nobody was understanding. The people who understand, all the analysts, people who knows what's going on, they saw that, why does it keep going? Why does it keep going up? And the fools, they don't think one day it's going to go in hours to zero. They continue, they buying. The smart people took some money and bought some real estate. So they have something left. But most people, they're greedy. They don't want, they want the balloon to grow higher and higher, bigger and bigger. No. So he comes, he said, come, I want to show you my last statement from the last month. Show him the statement. This religious guy, he looks at the statement, he said, this is what you made in what? In the whole year? He said, what do you mean the whole year? In the last month only. He said, wow, I wish I could make 10% of it. I marry all my kids with no problem. Talking friends on the street. He said, wow, I wish I had money to give you. Would you invest for me? He said, of course, why not? You're my friend, why not? He said, you know what? Tomorrow morning I'm going to my bank and I will ask for a loan. I give a loan I'll give you the money, with this kind of return, I'll pay the loan right away. Psh, that's going to be a great source of income for me. So the guy heard the loan, loan, I'm afraid. He said, well, after you giving me all this halal now you're afraid. How much they give me a loan? $20,000. He said, okay. He goes to the bank, he gets a loan, he calls him up, I have the money. Come to my office. He goes to his office in Ramat Gan, beautiful fancy building, comes to his room, in 1 year, how this guy, amazing. He gives him the money, no problem. He goes home. This was in the evening. Not the next day, the following day, all over, people are crying, people are screaming, Bnei Brak, Yerushalayim, Tel Aviv, people jumping, committing suicide. The market crashed completely. Going down, like crazy. So he doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know what he did with his money, what he bought, what. So he calls him right away. Because you see, everyone he asks people, tell me, there's any chance that maybe I made money? He's like, what made? Everyone is losing. So the guy said, wow, 20 years, I'm going to have to pay this loan. He tried to call his number. There was no cell phones in those days. Either you're in the office or not. Nobody in the office. From morning to night, every 10 minutes, he goes out, he cannot learn Gemara, he cannot focus, nothing. Try to call his friends, nothing. No answers. After a week, when he already in his mind knew he lost all the money, he picked up the phone. Yosef, you there? Oh, Baruch Hashem, first I'm happy you're alive. People started to get me scared, with what's happening today. Where have you been? I'm trying to call. Don't get panic. I'm not blaming. I'm not complaining. I know you try to help me. I just want to know what happened with the money. So, it's you? Oh, yeah. Don't worry, you're a lucky guy. I still didn't have time to invest your money. It's too short. Your money is right here in my drawer. You can come tomorrow morning and take it. See how Hashem watch over you? He said to him. So you serious? He said, yeah. You saw. A day and a half after you came, it's all happened. But all the other money of all my other customers got wiped out. Millions of dollars. My investors, they're all looking for me to kill me. I'm hiding. It's not my fault, but what can I do? So the poor guy said, I wish I can help you, but I borrowed it from the bank. He said, come. Come tomorrow morning, you have your money. He comes the next day. Now he's still, he's thinking, maybe he's fooling me. Maybe the office will be locked. He comes into the office, he sees sitting there, panim, face, Tisha B'Av. He comes in, he takes an envelope, $20,000. Here, go back to the Torah, believe me, it's better. See? So, he went back to the Torah, he gave the money back to the bank, end of story. Few years later, the yeshiva guy is getting a phone call. Yosef, his friend. Yosef, I want you to come tomorrow to my office. What happened? He got nervous. He's suing me maybe. I have very good news for you. I said, good news for me? 5 years I didn't speak to him. Good news? What good news? He said, listen, if I'll tell you what happened, you'll never believe what a miracle just happened. So remember what happened a few years ago? He said, yes. He said, after I bought the stock, when I took the money, I told you that I never used your money. But the truth is, the next morning, first thing I did is invested all your money on a company that I thought that there's no risk by this company. And this company went down so bad that maybe a few $100 left from your money. $20,000 right away in hours got wiped out. But I knew where you live and how many kids you have and what you do. So my heart didn't let me give you that bad news. So I took from my own saving on the side, I put $20,000, and I wanted you to feel great, because I knew if I tell you that I lost your money, you wouldn't take it, so I gave you the money. And I forgot about this case. And you know, I was trying to find all kinds of jobs. One day, recently, I went into my computer, I started to go into all the accounts, checking. I went into that stock that I bought for you, and your account that I opened for you. And I just couldn't believe. I look in front of my eyes, I see that the account has $80,000. I said, how can it be? Well, it's a mistake. I checked the history. The few $100, in a period of few months, started to go up. 1,000, 2,000, 3, and then one big company decided to buy that company. And they gave them a very big offer because they were growing back on their feet after a few years. And the stock went up to the sky. And the few thousand stocks that I bought for you that are still there, I forgot about them. I thought it's zero. That's it, they're bankrupt. And look what happened now. So now I'm calling you to give you your money. It's your money. So the guy said, are you kidding me? You want to give me this money also? Come on, don't be too tzaddik. This is your money, not mine. I cannot touch one penny from this money. So he says to him, what do you mean? He said, you gave me my money back. That day you're done with me. He said, no. I gave it back to you. It's true. I gave you my money. You can look at that as a loan. You can pay me back the loan. That's a different story. But I never touch your account. This is your account, and according to the Torah, I have to give you the money. He said, no, I'm not coming. He said, listen, I will force you. I'll invite you to Beit Din. Like today. Today it's the same thing. I'll invite you to Beit Din because I owe you money. Today when people owe money, it's very difficult somehow to find them on the phone. Somehow. I don't know. There's no reception. You know, I work in a basement. That's why my phone doesn't work. You know, they invented this card that you can call somebody and you can put any number you want him to see. So people are playing tricks with that. You know, he calls him from his own home. So he picks up, he begins to curse his wife. It's very dangerous, you know. So anyway, they meet the next day. He take a box full of cash. He said, don't worry, I took my 20, here is your 60. You can marry your daughter. I heard she grew up now, she's getting married soon. He said, what can I say? How can I? This is a true story of two friends. Then this is all the years people told him, leave him alone, leave him alone. It's not for you, it's not for you. In the end, the one who kind of saved him was this guy. I always said, the length of the beard not always say how righteous you are. Because the Indians in India, they have nice white beards. They comb it all day. Psh, nice. You can count how many lines they have. You know? So anyway, no, do you think we have answers to all the questions? For answers to the question, you have to come to the yeshiva to learn. It's not so simple. Because it's very, very serious arguments. All I can tell you, and I told you, that the owner of the restaurant, that's simple. The customer that went into the restaurant, he thought it's for free. He had to pay, because he never say to him for free. But all the other cases is depend on many, many different things. Now I have a question for you. Who is the first Jew in history? Simple question, no? No, so we have Avraham, Yitzchak, who else? Adam, Moshe. I need to drink. I'm getting hot. Wait 1 second. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu שהכל נהיה בדברו. You're reminding me about the story that I told yesterday in my shiur. Yesterday, I told a story about a religious guy that is giving a lecture every Friday, 10 minutes in a school, secular school. To get a guy with a beard and a black yarmulke to speak in a secular school, it's harder than to kill bin Laden. You have no idea. They can send the Israeli army to protect that he won't enter. If the missionary Christian come, how are you, Mr. Williams? Please be my guest. We want to know about your culture and your genius religion. But, Rabbi, you came to the wrong address. Go to Bnei Brak, over there. No. So one other rabbi asked him, how did you get in? What is this? Every Friday you go and you speak to hundreds of not religious kids? How did you do it? Teach me the trick. He said, I'll tell you what I did. I called up the woman who's in charge of the school. And I told her, I want to come to speak about Shavuot. Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot. There was Shavuot coming in a week. So the teacher, the manager of the school, she said, what do you want to speak about Shavuot? She's investigating. So he said, I want to explain to the kids why we eat dairy in Shavuot. Why we eat dairy. You know, the customs of Shavuot. And you know that this is, by the way, the holiday that the Jewish nation received the Torah. No, very little, only 10 minutes. Okay, come to my office. If you commit in writing that that's all you're going to say, I'll give you the 10 minutes that you want. So he come, she said, no brainwashing, sign here, that you promise, this is your word. You're not going to say anything about becoming religious, of course. No problem, ma'am. He writes, he signed. Now they bring all the classes, 400 kids sit in an hall there, and he's still telling them about Shavuot, about the Torah, and why we eat dairy, and then he say, and also, by the way, Shavuot is the holiday of David HaMelech, King David. It's his yortzeit, some say he was born also on that day. And he say to them, and now kids, why, before I leave, I have another minute. So please, I want to ask you one question. So he said, who wrote the book of Tehillim? 400 not religious kids. 12th grade, 11th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade. Full. Not one of them knew who wrote the book of Tehillim in Israel. Story, mamash recently this story. Not even a year to this story. So he said, kids, I will give you a hint. David, everybody scream, Ben Gurion! The Mora, the woman, she became very short at that moment. She didn't know where to hide. So she looks at him, he said, you need a special treatment here. He said, now with this, you have to let me come every 10 minutes to give them some Jewish ideas. So she said, okay, 10 minutes every Friday, you got it. That's how he got in. Showing them how wrong they are, they were so embarrassed that she let him in. Why did I tell you this story? You're beginning to remind me of those kids. I asked, who's the first Jew? Moshe, Yitzchak, Avraham, who else? What else did you say? So who is the first Jew? Huh? Yehuda. Oh, we have another one. Huh? Adam.
We are. You listen to him.
He wants a hint. Yitzchak. Don't say Rabin. Okay, so I'll give you a hint. It's not Yehuda. It's not Moshe. It's not Adam. No, so we have Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You have to make up your mind. I think we'll answer this question in the next lecture. So the answer is, it's not so simple. Everybody agree that without a doubt, Yaakov officially is the first 100% pure Jew, without any doubts about him. But Avraham and Yitzchak, it's a question. We wait for Mashiach to tell us what they were. According to one opinion in the Gemara, they were the first Jew, Avraham, and then Yitzchak, and then Yaakov. According to one opinion, Avraham and Yitzchak, they were Bnei Noach. And only Yaakov, that Hashem changed his name to Israel, and all his children were all righteous, and no Esau came from him, and no Ishmael came from him. That's the official beginning of the state of the nation of Israel. Either way, we have to clarify one thing, and that's what confused me for a second. Adam had knowledge about the Torah. Adam wrote Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. How did he know to write such beautiful poem? Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. Yeah. Also Noach knew how to sacrifice, after he came out, the pure animals. He knew which animals pure, which animals are not pure. You know what a Talmid Chacham you have to be in order to know all this? So obviously Noach had knowledge in the Torah. Shem was a Rosh Yeshiva. Shem ve'ever. Where Yaakov Avinu learned Torah 14 years? In the Yeshiva of Shem ve'ever. So they had the whole Torah. That's way before Judaism officially started. So you see, individuals have the Torah. That's why it's confusing. That's why Er ve'Onan, they were not Jewish. They didn't have the Torah. They had the mitzvah to do Yevum. They didn't do it. Hashem killed them. So that's why people ask, and among them this guy that sent me that question today, why in that case Hashem got angry on the goyim when they did it? So what's the answer, by the way, to this question? For you already spoke about it. Because sometimes you have to know, even though Hashem told the goyim only to keep 7 laws, every other law that it's common sense, every other law that it's normal common sense, they are also obligated. Even not to throw things on the floor in the street. Why? Another person will have to break his back and pick it up or whatever, to clean it for you. Why are you doing it? It's not fair. It's not manners. Or respecting his parents. It's not one of the 7 laws of Noach. But it's mandatory. While you expect him to beat up his parents and Hashem will leave him alone? What's the proof that I'm right? You heard the story in the Gemara in Dama ben Natina with the red cow? He was selling jewelry, and the Kohen Gadol lost the stone of Shevet Binyamin. Yashpeh, that's the name of it. Like ruby, some kind of expensive stone. So the Gabaim, the treasury of the Bet HaMikdash, they had to come to 47th Street. What can I do? Somehow, by mistake, instead of going to a nice Bukharian guy, they went into a booth of a goy. His name is Dama ben Natina. And that goy had the stone. Perhaps they went to all the 47 streets. None of them had the stone that they're looking for. It has to be exact stone for the Choshen of the Kohen. That goy has it. He said, I have that stone that you're looking for. Okay, how much? $10,000, $100,000, whatever it was. He goes up, he comes down, there's no stone. Where is the stone? Right away they thought, he changed his mind. Okay, 11, bring it. They're very nervous, gotta find that stone. The Bet HaMikdash is stuck now. Kohen doesn't have heaven. Each stone belongs to a tribe. So, he said, no, 12, 15, 500. Let's get the stone already. So he said, no. I can't sell it to you, I'm sorry. So they went, they go back to Bet HaMikdash, They said, well, where is the stone? So I couldn't find. One guy claimed that he has it, but I don't know, he doesn't want to sell. The next day, they came, they doubled the price. Ooh, wow, now they have a very heavy price for it. He said, okay, let me go get it. He comes, bring the stone, $10,000, he said. He already went up to $1 million with him. I said, what? What's going on here? He said, no, that's the price I told you yesterday. I don't know why you're shooting all kinds of prices. That's the price. So why didn't you give it to us yesterday? We have to come again to Manhattan. If you're not laughing, that means you don't even know how bad is Manhattan. So, okay, you can cry now. Sometimes we have to cry that we don't know what we have to cry for. You understand or no?
Tears of joy.
No.
No.
We have to cry that we don't know what we need to cry for. Amevin yavin. So anyway, so the guy brought it. I said, why didn't you give it to us yesterday? He said, my father was sleeping on the box. I didn't want to wake him up. Respect his father. Tony, respect Vinny. You know? So they gave him the money, and the Torah said that that night he had a red cow. And that's already worth $1 billion, not $1 million. Any price. And he became the richest guy. So the Chachamim asked, what was his reward for doing a mitzvah? Which mitzvah? He wasn't even obligated. If he did one of the 7 mitzvot that Hashem obligates the goyim to do, fine, I understand. Gadol ha-metzuveh ve'oseh, yoter mishe'eno metzuveh ve'oseh. Someone who's obligated deserves a big reward. Someone who's not obligated also get a reward. A woman that learns Torah, she gets a reward. But a man gets a much bigger reward because he's obligated. A woman that puts tefillin, she gets a reward. Yes, she can sit in a room if she's clean and everything. The wife of Rabbi Meir, she was putting tefillin, Bruria. Putting tefillin every day. She knew all the Gemara by heart, all the Mishnayot, everything. Yeah, so a woman can do a lot of the things. She can sit in a sukkah. She doesn't make bracha, but it counts mitzvah for her. She can go with the lulav without bracha. It counts mitzvah for her. But her reward is not the same like the man that is obligated. A woman that is modest and she keeps Shabbat, she's already 90% of her correction is in her pocket. All the rest of the things together is maybe 10%. Modesty and Shabbat, she's already in a very high league. If she doesn't do one of the two, she has a very serious problem. She's below the red line. One of the two messed up her life. She doesn't keep Shabbat or she doesn't keep modesty. She has no chance to succeed in her final score. But a man has a lot more mitzvot. Tefillin, Torah, this, that, a lot more. A woman can even do shchita. Yes. The fact that we don't do it, there's reasons why we don't do it. But we cannot say not allowed. Even to go up to the Torah, a woman is allowed. She can go up to the Torah and say, Baruch Hu Hashem HaMvorach, and everybody has to answer. But it's not modest, so we don't do it. You understand? So this is to give you an idea. So this guy wasn't obligated. But you see that Hashem gave him a huge reward because it's normal, it's common sense. Of course you are obligated. Of course, what? Not to respect your father? Every mafia guy knows that when the Sanda comes in, the Italian gangster comes in, all his sons standing like this. No? Whatever their name is. One person once told me a beautiful story. You know, there is a, what did you call it? Godfather? Okay, so there's something like this on television, no? Yeah. So something like this on television, and there's the Italian mafia, right? The Italian mafia. What's that?
Sopranos.
Wow, you're changing the names here. Godfather, Soprano, whatever the name is, doesn't matter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's already very bad that everybody knows. Not supposed to know. Anyway, so listen, so they told me that there was over there one time in one of the shows, that the Italians were called by a Hasidic Jew to get rid of his son-in-law. What does it mean? He owns an hotel, that Hasid, and he married his daughter to a young Hasid, and he works with him in the hotel for 20 years, and now he has to divorce his wife. But he doesn't want to give her a get until he gets half of the hotel on his name. So he claimed, I made this, when I met you, the place was a zoo, nothing here. I made it what it is today. I'm entitled to get half of the business. So that guy doesn't want to give him half of the business, so they had a big war between them. No matter rabbis, nothing worked. The guy went to these mafia people. It's only in a movie, but the idea, I want you to get what he told me, it's beautiful, much like honey. So when they came to that young Hasid, the son-in-law, they're supposedly breaking his bones, beating him up, kicking him, torturing him. He's not giving up. They used to strong guys. They see this Hasid like this, skinny, breaking him. No, I'm not giving a get. So the mafia went back to that father-in-law and said, we never saw such a thing. We almost killed him already. He doesn't want to sign the paper. So this is why I'm telling you this story. So at one of the episodes, supposedly, when they were beating him up, he was screaming, the Babylonians tortured the Jews. They disappeared from the world, and the Jews are always here. The Egyptians tortured the Jews, and they disappeared from the earth, and the Jews are still here. The Greeks tortured the Jews, they disappear, and the Jews are still here. The Philistines, he names all the empires. The Romans, they tried to destroy the Jews. The Romans disappeared, and the Jews are still here. Where are the Romans? So the mafia people told him, we are the Romans, you fool. You're looking at them. They at least knew who their fathers are. What's the Romans? Romans is what they call today Italy. All the treasure of Bet HaMikdash is under the Vatican. 7 floors under the ground. I know of a person who was there. Inside. You need very, very strong connection to go underneath. Not only the treasures of Bet HaMikdash, treasures from all over the world, and the last 2,000 years of history were collected there. Like books of Chachamim that disappeared, pages of the Rambam with his handwriting. Every little thing over there is millions or billions of dollars. You have the original menorah of Bet HaMikdash, 680 kilo of pure gold, 1,300 pounds of gold. And the price always going higher and higher. Gold is almost 1,400. Remember that I said it a few months ago when it was 900? Remember or not? It's recorded. Now I'm telling you it's going to go to more than 3,000. Because this world is going down. People will kill for it. The money won't have value. Nothing. Only food, gold, things like this will have a value. Nothing else. Houses won't have a value. Already houses don't have a value. To build a house costs double or triple than to buy it ready. Let's show you how this country is finished. If you want to now go and buy a lot and build a house, the cost of material, the screws, the wood, everything you need for a house, pipes, this, and labor and all that together will cost you double, or depend on what state, double or triple than to buy it from leftovers that the builder left now all over. Just come and take. Ready to go. Why you need a headache of 1 year of building and it will cost you 3 times more? You remember such a thing? Did you ever remember possible to buy a 3-bedrooms apartment or 2-bedrooms apartment in Florida for $15,000? A watch cost more. Yes. A lot of watches out there cost more than $15,000. A watch. More than a whole apartment with beautiful view of Miami. Alma de Shikra, the world of the bluff. Okay, we'll finish with one last thing. One anti-Semite, not Roman, He told Albert Einstein in one of the conventions, if all the Jews were like you, there were no anti-Semitism. You know what Albert Einstein answered him? Huh? He said, no, sir. If all the Christians were like me, there would not be anti-Semitism. With you looking at my brilliance and my knowledge in science, he said, if all the Jews were like me, then they'll appreciate us. Like this, they see us religious, they're not interested in us. So my answer to you, if all your friends will be decent like me and give respect to every human being, there would not be anti-Semitism, which is not true anyway. Right? Because even very decent people are anti-Semite. People that if you follow them with a candy camera for one day, you would be amazed from their righteousness as goyim, how straight they are. A word is a word, a check is a check, a handshake is a handshake, respect is respect, no lashon hara, respecting their wife, not cheating, loving the dogs. They see a Jew, they're ready to butcher him to pieces. That's what the Gemara says. Halacha, Esav soneh leYaakov. Halacha. You know what it means, halacha? It's halacha in Shulchan Aruch, reality. There's nothing you can do. So of course it's not all of them, because you see a lot of them helping the Jews, and they're nice to the Jews, and respecting the Jews, and all and that. But many of them are Jewish, and they don't even know. Millions! In Spain and in Portugal, they made a survey, DNA, 1 out of 10 has Jewish DNA. Has a memory of the Spanish Inquisition 500 years ago. 1 out of 10. You know what we're talking here about? You know how many Jews there are out there and they have no idea? Moranos, Spanish, South American people, that they are really Jews and they have no idea? They do not know. So anti-Semitism is, when the Nazis were putting the Jewish kids, the Jewish cute babies, 1, 2, 3 years old, in the oven, second before they killed them, they never forgot to say Dankeschön. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. If he see a dog is crying, he would pick up the dog. He would cry with the dog. He just put an innocent kid, baby, that never made a sin in his life, in the oven. Didn't bother him. But he see a dog somewhere out there, he would play with him, give him water. You understand? That's all from Hashem. Who sent them to us? Who sent this monster to us? Who made them? Who needs them? Hashem. For us, to wake us up. FBI, police. You know how many Jews are sitting here in a prison? Banging their heads on the wall every day, every minute? Why? Stealing a few $1,000s, cheating here, cheating. Not everybody had the luck that the FBI, the plane crashed on the FBI building and they lost his file. You saw what they did to Rubashkin? 150 years in prison. I promise you, if they catch Mengele in America, the Nazi that butchered hundreds of thousands of Jews, they wouldn't give him 150 years in prison. I promise you. They'll give him maybe 40, 50 years in prison. Here, the Maniuk, this Nazi, Ivan, 90-something years old, they still have his trial. I promise you, when they find him guilty, they won't give him death. They'll give him some few years in prison. Madoff, how much Madoff got? Huh? Also 150 Madoff? No, can you compare Rubashkin to Madoff? $50-60 billion he stole from people. Then this poor guy, you're talking a few $1 million. You can compare this to this. If he got 150 years, that means half of the people in this country has to sit 150 years in prison. Half. But they get 2 years, 3 years, 4, and they come out. Soon, there won't be room in the jails here. Why? The minorities here, they're suffering now from the situation. No food, no money for the bills. They don't pay the mortgages. 23 states, the government stopped all the foreclosures. The government is afraid that there will be 3, 4, 5 million families on the street. It's going to burn this country in fire. What do you think? If you're going to have 10, 20 million Americans without a place to live, what do you think the father's gonna do in a freezing winter? They're going to start making fires in the middle of Fifth Avenue. They have nothing to lose. Put us in jail. It's good. It's warm them. Television, soup, food, air condition, heat. What do we have to do here in the street freezing in 20 below zero? Nothing to lose. When a person has nothing to lose, is the most dangerous enemy. Even if he's civilized. Even if he's a person with lots of manners. When a person is a wounded animal, you don't know what to expect from him. Don't expect him to be polite like he was until now. The government knows what's going to happen, so they put it on a, you got a lot of money from us, be quiet, leave them, let them live in a house. But you know what happened? Many people that were paying their mortgages now taking advantage on it. So why should we pay? They also stop paying. And what's going to happen here, I'm telling you, whatever I say 2 years ago, and 3 years ago, and now, it's only going to get worse. Don't believe what you hear on the news that they say the economy becomes better, the company have better sales, all these things. This is, remember, many people have a lot of money from the good years and they believe the media. So they have $50 million on the side and they hear economy is getting better. Say, okay, so there's no panicking. Let's start spend again. But it's baloney. Nothing is growing here. Now everything is going down. The prices of oil keep going up. No job, more and people lose their jobs. China is occupying the world. India is taking all the labor, all the position. You call the bank, someone in India picks up. You call the computer company, they pick up in India. No more farmers here. Everything is shrinking. Everything. And why do you think the gold is going higher, so higher and higher? China buys all the gold. Very wealthy country. In China, it's enough that 1% of the population become millionaires because they're very successful in their production. And here you go. You just need another 40 million cars on the street. And they need gas, and they need material, and everything goes higher and higher. And the people in this country becoming like the Chinese used to be. Soon going to have to move into a little tent somewhere in a farm and live like in the old days. We are going to days, this is recorded, we'll see if I was right or wrong, but this is on common sense. I'm not telling you anything that a normal person doesn't see. We are coming to days that families cannot afford to send their kids to Jewish yeshivot anymore. Why? It's so expensive. Average worker here that even work in a very respectable firm, how much he makes? 50, 60, 70, 80 a year? It's worse than homeless. If he has 5, 6, 7 kids, more than $40,000, $50,000 just the yeshivot cost. What about food? What about health insurance? What about gas, car, insurance, this insurance and that insurance, and the house and the rent and the maintenance and the taxes? It's not enough to live. So what's going to happen? Like what used to be, one kid that is smart will go to get education, and all the other kids will go to work. Age 11, they'll bake pita bread. That's how it was until 2 generations ago. 1 or 2 out of a family, they send them to learn. They didn't have money for all the kids to go to learn. And believe me, it wasn't expensive like today. One person told me that he sent his daughter to Yeshiva University, his daughter or his son, I'm not sure, $40,000 just for her a year. Multiplied by 7 kids. You gotta be Donald Trump to afford education. No. So you steal from here, you steal from there. In the end, yeah, you give your children education because you stole here, you stole there, but the education is not blessed. They're not becoming Bnei Torah. You know why? Because they eat stolen food. Then you wonder why they're shoplifting, they're doing this, they're taking drugs, they have all these things. What's going on? That's it. So what do we have? The last thing, what do we have to do? En lanu al mi lishaen ela al avinu shebashamayim. We only need the mercy of Hashem. That's it. Nothing. Whatever we do, believe me, it's not going to help us. We can only make tshuva and hope for good. But I'm not even talking about Iran, Hezbollah, Syria. They became one nation, you know. Now the Middle East is like this. Iran soon is going to occupy Iraq. They already have army there and agents and people. They already have 50% controlling Iraq after the American came out. Iraq has no power. Slowly, slowly, they'll take over Iraq. They control their oil. They control everything. Anyway, like 60 or 70% over there are more Iranians than Iraqis. They have Shiites and Sunni, if you know a little bit how the Muslims are. Soon, right away, the next thing after that, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Jordan, and Syria are their allied, and the Hezbollah, they support them. So actually the whole Middle East become Iran and Hezbollah, and the Hamas is in Israel. And what's going to be? And in Israel, the army, more than half of the army is Goyim. You should know. In every incident, you look at the names. Half of them are Russian Goyim, or some of them are maybe Goyim, maybe Jews. We not always know. This is the situation. Many of them are, it's very difficult because, that the army accepts everyone, so they're not going to fight against the Hezbollah, with a earring here and a cell phone and a bracelet, He's going to come to fight against Ahmed. I don't want to tell you what Ahmed will do to him. You understand? What are we counting on? And the atomic bomb that we have, in atomic war you don't win. There's no winners. They would lose and we would lose. So, no matter how you look at that, we are so close to the days of Mashiach, more than we are dreaming about. Now I know you heard that, you're hearing it all the time. But the Gemara says, when Mashiach comes, 3 things come when you are not ready. A scorpion, finding a lost object on the street, and Mashiach. Why those 3 things? There's so many other surprises in life. You get fired. It comes out of nowhere. You get a phone call. Moshe, don't come tomorrow to work. We don't need you. Goodbye. It's also a big surprise. Your wife told you, Moshe, I have something to tell you. What? I don't love you anymore. That's also a surprise. I wasn't ready for it. I can give you a list of 1 billion things that comes in surprise. Why the Gemara use those 3? Because there's a secret here. What's the secret? And that will be the last thing for tonight. What's the secret? When the Mashiach comes, for some people it would be like finding a lost object. Treasure. Oh, diamond, look. A wallet. For some people it will be a scorpion. 1 bite and it's over. Some people will see CNN, breaking news. Something happening in Jerusalem, on a mountain broke to 2. There's a person that comes over there, and everyone runs after him. There's fire all over. Thousands of casualties. People come to demonstrate against him. He blew something out of his mouth. They all burned like fire. And a minute later, CNN will have all snow. We're having difficulty, and that will be the end of it. Some people will be snoring, some people will be in a bathroom, some people will be in the middle of the Gemara. Oh, you hear, ooh, big one. The question is, where are we going to be when the siren will begin? The shofar. Where? Imagine a person is in the middle of a scene, and the shofar will begin. No. Can be a bigger embarrassment than this. Let's hope. That's why we have to be ready all the time. All the time. What you have with you when you're ready, nobody can take away from you. What you're counting on him and her and this and her, he will do for me, he will help me. Maybe yes, maybe not, probably not. Thank you to Yaniv and Chazak for organizing this day. I will be again on this coming Sunday in Bet Gavriel with a regular monthly Chazak event. Thank you for coming tonight. Good night, all.